then quickly the response become, well, I make the money, you can't tell me what to do with the money. So it kind of goes both ways. And how do you handle that situation?
Well, that's a very good, points that both of you guys have made. And in many cases, prime example, the Bible says women submit to your husbands. All right. Now, that's tough. Look. Shelly just, not Shelly. Linda just said, ooh. Now, this is the thing. Now, this is how, Robert, and this is how I explain it. This is how I explain it to brothers. Prime example. Some brothers say, well, Pastor, my wife doesn't do anything I say. You know what I'm saying? You ask her to do anything, she'll run and break her neck to do it. And, is that because I'm serving in the role of a pastor? Possibly could be. But from my vantage point, it's not. And the reason that I say that is this. The word submission is the prefix sub, and then the word mission. Sub means under, mission. And so what happens is it's difficult for a woman to come in submission when there's nothing to get under. If a man has no mission, it is extremely difficult for her to get under that. And so what I try to teach men, hey, look, brother, you got to have a mission. Your wife won't have, the reason that your wife can come up in here, and do what I ask her to do, because the mission is clearly stated. I mean, from A to Z, what happens, where we're going, where we're headed, where we've been, what we're trying to achieve, it is clearly outlined. And so when things are clearly outlined, women have no problem getting under that mission, whether that man earns more money or not. As long as he is clear in his direction where he's trying to take the family, as long as he is clear in who he is in terms of his confidence as a man, recognizing that I might be in between a job right now, or, I might have had a layoff of my business. Prime example. Back in 2003, had a very nice home in Charlotte. 2001, 9/11 hit. I went from earning about $10,000, $12,000 a month to a negative $2,000 in the bank almost overnight. Overnight. My wife hadn't worked in years. Are you hear what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, my wife, I can't find a job. Got a 4-year degree,
right.
Military experience. I mean, a commissioned officer in the military, reserve training. 4-year degree. A government training and all these different types of specialties and certifications, and overqualified. I'm lugging around, telephone books just trying to keep food on the table. I'm driving through drive-throughs at night picking up change from the drive-through window, going through pockets and lifting up pillows and all of those things, and winter coats, hoping that I found, maybe $5 in a winter coat that I stashed away. Now mind you, my wife ends up taking a job at a daycare.
Okay.
Are you hear what I'm saying?
Okay.
She worked in education, and so she got a job at a daycare, and she was at that point on a daycare income, the sole provider for the family. I went out to Albemarle Road and gave blood for money.
Wow.
We call it watching the movie. You go over there and you watch the movie, you give blood, and you come out with a little money.
Right.
And so nevertheless, seen hard times, been at a place as a man where I felt that I was not contributing the way that I should. My wife never bickered. I never walked around the corner, heard her on the phone with anybody, never called her mother, never called her daddy. We just braved the storm together. Now, so to get more closely to what you just said, are men intimidated because their wives earn more money? Not necessarily. It really depends on the spirit of communication in that relationship. See, money is a spirit. And very often I teach the men, even at our church, I said, bruh, if you don't make as much money as your wife, you better learn some financial accounting principles. Because whoever handles the money, for the most part, has the influence on how it is spent, and then there comes an authority with that. And so and that's why I tell that man, you still have to be, although you give the responsibility to your wife to, manage the funds, because she might make more, or she might just very well, have a better understanding as it relates to managing money, but you know where it's going.
Right.
You're the CEO.
Okay.
You chart the direction for the family.
Okay.
And if you don't have any direction for your family, and your wife is riding, it's kind of like the way I explain it is if you're in a driver's ed course and you've got a immature driver and you've got another driver on the side that can hit the brakes at any time when they see you about to go over a cliff or going to a guardrail. Well, that woman that's earning more money say, honey, I want you to drive. I want you to lead. Women often tell their husbands, I hear it all the time, I want you to lead, honey. I want you to make the decisions. I want you to lead. And here he is, not quite quite sure, you know, how to drive and different things. And what happens is when they start almost going off of over a cliff, you know, then she's, you know, screeching on the brakes. And then let me get, you know, the wheel back. Let me get the wheel back.
Right.
You know, so that the family doesn't collapse and we don't go over a cliff. And so, and men have to be taught, because daddies ain't been around, mine weren't around.
Yeah.
Men have to be taught through periodicals, through things that you guys are doing, through Robert, brothers like that through pastors that have gone through some things, understand some things, got some learning and some teaching and some fundamentals. But men have to be taught, and that is what most men need.
Pastor, let me ask you a question. When you, and I can imagine that